Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to new standards of excellence.
Yes.
Say yes to engaging reportage with a difference.
Yes.
Introducing Yes International Magazine. The time to say yes to your dreams and aspirations is here.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of our Instagram live session. My name, like I keep saying, has not changed. My name remains Azuh, Arinze, and my guest tonight is the comedy Berlusconi's Godon. The colorful comedian, singer, actor, masters of ceremony, etc., was born 50 years ago. He attended Irobadu Primary School in Warri. For his secondary, he attended the popular Nana College, also in Warri. And thereafter, he proceeded to the Delta State University, where he read integrated science. Godon, like we all know him, is married to the angel of his life, whom he enjoys addressing as Oyibu, and they are blessed with 4 wonderful children. Godon, as a matter of fact, has a beautiful, grass to grace story. And tonight he will be sharing a bit of that, as well as his romance with comedy. Right. Now I was trying to read up on it, and it wasn't because of doing that I found out that you had an unpleasant title. Could you tell us a little about it and how you perform eventually?
I happen to be among those that were born not to make it, but by the grace of God, I did. I was born with, I came to earth with 7 teeth in my mouth, so I became a taboo. I landed at birth hatred. Yeah. At birth,
wow.
I came to life with 7 teeth in my mouth. So they haven't seen that kind of thing in their life. But yeah, they haven't seen it in their life, so they thought something was wrong. Maybe it was a taboo or the gods were angry. And so they actually were conspiring to kill me. My mom was among the conspirators. And, so fortunately for me, to cut a long story short, there was a man in our village who came and said, you should not kill this child. A child like this usually usually becomes a king in places like Benin, that was then Edo State. So the man insisted and stood by me and said, nothing will happen to me. So that brought hatred to me, that brought hatred among my parents. So they didn't like me, they didn't want to associate with me. They thought I was a child who didn't bring anything good for them. So you will not believe that at the age of 3 months, my parents already left me. My mom didn't give me to suck, things like that. They just left me because they just believed that I was not the kind of a proper child that they want to give it. At some point, I almost became lame for lack of malnutrition, for lack of nutrition and care. So they just left me like that. It took my paternal grandmother, who heard in my father's village, to come and carry me from my mother's village and said, if you
Wow.
don't come first, I don't think this your son will become anything. She came, she pretended like she came to the market like the way they do in those days. People do come, to the market. There's always market day. So she came as well, that she came to the market and that she would like to see her son, her grandson. So there I was, very small. I don't know what was going on. She just backed me and said, okay, she wants to take me to the market. On her way back, she would drop me before she go back to my father's village. And that was how she disappeared with me to my father's village.
Wow.
And then she started
Wow.
treating me with herbs on my leg and things like that. And by the grace of God, I could stand and I started working. And then because of how I grew up, I was circumcised at the age of 9. Life. There was no aesthetics, nothing like that. They
Wow.
circumcised me life. I felt the pain of the knife. Just
Wow.
my growing up was hell. Yeah. And then to make things worse, I saw my mother finally at the age of 16. After she left me, my father also left. I saw my father and my mother face to face for the first time at the age of 16. The worst part was that even when she saw me, she didn't want to receive me. So I was thrown into depression. I grew up with all kind of inferiority complex. But the good thing is that I came to know God early. Since I couldn't find love among my parents, among people of the world, so I came to know God early. So that was the only love I could find. So I was very dedicated. I followed God with all my heart, even up to today. Because that was the
Wow.
only love I knew. I had no uncles, no aunts, no mother. Nobody was there. The only person that stood for me was my paternal grandmother, who said, because she didn't have most children, she had just my father. And she said, now that there's a grandson, she had to take me in like a son. I grew up under her. She trained me before she passed on the 10th, of May, 1981. But Mali died the following day. So I never forget such things. So
Wow.
that was how I grew up.
Wow.
It was hell, bro.
What
Yeah.
what's a moving story? What's a moving story? Now, what is your relationship with your parents? I mean, now that the Lord has blessed you, what is your relationship with them?
Well, I have come to realize that the things I suffered as a child, they were intentional. God was using them to prepare me for what was to come. Because sometimes if God is ever going to put you on the throne, He trains you first. And sometimes the place of training is not usually funny. So I realized as I grew up and I matured, I realized that what I suffered was not because I was hated by God. God allowed it to happen because He was training me for that which was to come. Uh, my relationship with my parents are very good. I just lost my father last 2 months. That's April
My
27. I lost my father.
condolences.
Yeah,
Wow.
but my mother is still alive. I have very good relationship with them. I do not hold anything against them. Over time, because I was deep in the things of God, so that helps me. That helped me to overcome any kind of worry and stress. We are very good.
Hmm. Hmm. Interesting. Interesting. I am shocked. I don't even know where to start from and everything. Okay,
It's
let me
okay. We
hear
all have our
the
story.
let me hear the story of
Huh?
let me take the question from another angle now. Now you started out as a musician. I mean, you used to be a member of the DCM body. Why
Yeah.
did you dump music for comedy?
Well, I didn't actually drop music because there's no human being on the earth that is talented in one thing. You know, for every human being, you have more than 2, 3, 4 gifts operating in your life. The one you give attention to take better part of you. I started as a musician with a group called DCM, but even in the music, I was doing comedy. It was more like music comedy, you know. You know, but there came a time I had to separate the wheat from the tares, you know, and then the Bible says if your eye be single, your whole body will be full of light. So I wanted to know what was my call. At this time, the group was already packing up. Everybody was starting to do something else. So I said, okay, I think it's about time for me to also know what I want to do. Incidentally, I had gone to do music in Upper Williams event called Night of a Thousand Laughs with my group members. And usually, before we sing, I would do comedy. So Upper Williams said, hey, why don't you just try comedy on your own first? Before you guys start to sing. So the other two guys step aside and I came on board. They gave me 5 minutes. 5 minutes came to 10 minutes. 10 minutes came to 15. 15 went to 20. I finally left that stage at 30 minutes. Stage rocking and the people asking for more. So that was how my comedy career started. So even when we sang that night, it was as if, okay, you guys did well, but hey, I think God else is better as a comedian. So I started paying attention to comedy more than music. Initially, when I came to Lagos in 2006, I came with music, and I have an album to that effect. And after that, comedy started back on the comedy started taking a better part of me. And then Night of a Thousand Love was the in thing. So I started giving it a push and a try, and I started extending my creativity to that area. And today, here we are.
Now, I would like to find out from you between comedy,
Between comedy,
comedy and music, which one do you prefer?
which one do you prefer?
Well, I love both. I love both. Trust me. Yes, I give attention to comedy for now. Hey, I love music a lot. I'm also working an album currently. I really can't say I love one to another. I just love music and I love comedy. You know, but the truth of the matter is the comedy market for me is bigger than the music for now. But hey, I love both. I really can't say I love one more than the other.
All right. Now, to have a taste of
Now, to
success
have a taste of success
as a comedian, what must one
as a
do?
comedian, what must one do? What must one do?
Number one, as a comedian, there are two types of comics, yeah? The one that learns the art and the one that is gifted naturally. So if you are gifted naturally, comedy to you is easy. Even if they wake you up in the morning, you are on. You know, but for those who learn the art, they might have to go through stuff to come to where they are. But if comedy is natural to you, you will understand that for you to be successful, if comedy is natural to you, one of the things you must do, you must be fearless. You must be fearless. In all my career, I'm almost 20 years running. I've only apologized one, which is totally against comedy ethics. We don't apologize. And the only person I apologized to was Two-Face. That was because I love him so much. I didn't want to have issue with him. Yeah, I was angry. I came on and I let it go, and it was bad. But I had to apologize to Two-Face because he's my man forever, and I love him. Otherwise, as a comedian, you are fearless. You don't. You are unapologetic, and then the crown of every comedian is creativity. And above all else, don't forget the God factor, because no man doeth this thing except God will be with him. But also, I came to realize that in the whole thing that we do, talent is just 10% of all that 10%. You have to have integrity.
Okay.
You have to have relationships. You have to have integrity. You know, you have to have a style. You have to have a niche of your own. So if you put all of this together, I think you're on your way to the top.
Wow, interesting.
Wow.
So what makes
And
a
if I
good
must add to
comedian?
that, be funny, don't crack joke, just be funny. Basketman
All
told
right.
me that. He said, God, if you want to make it in Lagos, be funny, don't crack joke. So
All
I
right.
went back and thought about it. So what does it mean to be funny without cracking joke? And then I discovered that I can tell a good story in a funny way. That's huge. That just a lion went here and went there. So that's I think these are some of the things that I think you must do if you want to be
All right.
successful.
All right. So what are the elements of a good
What are
joke?
the elements of a good joke?
Well, the element of a good joke, your punchlines must be hidden. Your punchlines must be hidden. A comedian is a deceiver. A good comedian is a deceiver. He takes you from where you want to know, but you don't know where he's going. So you follow. A comedian is just like a good leader. He tells you, let's go here. You follow him, but you don't know where you land. That is a comedian. And your punchlines must be hidden. Because if the audience know your punchline before you say it, they ain't going to laugh. So there's no comedy no more. So if you want to have a good joke is that very joke that is relative to what is happening now and people can relate to it, but they never saw the comedy side of it. How you can talk about a trendy story and bring the comedy out of it without people seeing that aspect of it. To me, that's a good joke. Yeah, that's a good joke. Because they just made a story, but they never knew you could draw punchlines out of it. That's a good joke. That's what I think. And
Wow.
secondly, a good joke must be relational, or rather be relative. You know, you see, you know me. I don't just want to crack joke. I want to say something that you already know, but bring the fun out of it. That's a good.
Interesting. Interesting. So what are the attributes of a good comedian?
Well, the attribute of a good comedian, like I said before, you have to be bold. You have to be bold. You have to be fearless. Yeah. You have to be creative. Yeah. And then you must have your own style. You, if you if you are a comedian who knows how to freestyle, like you can do spontaneity, if that is your style, groom it very well. Because I know a young man in Abuja, uh, choose the general. Is when you talk about spontaneity, he's king in that area. He doesn't bother to tell stories or to crack jokes. But if you punch him, he's going to punch you back. That's good. So if that's your thing, develop it, be good at it, and make sure you make impact with it.
All right. Now you
All right.
earlier on you
Now,
said something
you
about
earlier on you said
creativity.
something about creativity.
What are the best ways for a
What are the
comedian to
best
come up
ways for
with
a
a
comedian
good
to come
joke?
up with good jokes?
Well, as a comedian, Daniel said, I understood my books. As a comedian, you must be a good reader. Because some of jokes are like ideas. So, and those ideas, you don't see them on comedy books. You have to go and read. We just read omnivoorously. I read any book at all that is not even comedy book. I can read book on finance, read book on politics, read book on health, and then from then you begin to get an idea of what a joke should look like. Do you understand? So if you want to be creative, you must be a good reader. Secondly, you must be a good listener, so to speak, because every comedian should have a mentor or even more. And these people, you find time to listen to them, you find time to analyze them, and know how they handle their issues, and how you can also do that with your own act. That's how I see it. Like me, I like to be creative in the morning when it is very calm, when I don't have much distraction, and then I begin to read. Apart from reading, I can also take trending issues and meditate on it. I can take uh, like how is it called? Uh, Social issues and meditate on and see what I can do to relate it to other people in such a way that they will not be hurt, but they will enjoy it and laugh with it. So that's what makes you be creative. You have to learn how to separate yourself as well. You have to learn how to separate yourself from the crowd so that you can begin to do your thing. I stayed in the Ikorodu for 10 years just trying to tell myself you have not arrived at all. You have not arrived. So I created room for hunger in my spirit. I knew every of my mates were living on the island and all those things. And so I felt, okay, stay here for a while. It's not that you don't have the money to go there, but stay here. Let that hunger push you into creativity. Because believe me, nothing spoils creativity like hunger. The moment you begin to feel that you have arrived, you discover that you can't create no more. So I created that environment for myself. That works for me. I don't know for other people. So if you really want to be creative, you must learn how to be, separate yourself from people. You must learn how to read. If you are a believer, you must learn how to pray. Because these things come like an idea. And the idea flies. It occurs to you, it's also occurring to another. So if you get that idea, you begin to develop it immediately before you try it up in a show. If you put this correct, I think you have more than enough jokes to kill a show.
Wow, interesting.
Thank you.
What do you like most about
What do I like most about what?
about being a comedian?
Well, the gift of comedy is so beautiful because a lot of you may not know this. Before we ever come out to crack a joke, we cracked it indoor and it made me laugh. So before you ever laughed at my joke, I have started laughing over it in my closet. I like that about a comedian. How you can make yourself happy by your own creativity. I like that about a comedian. Secondly, I like the fact that comedy can just make you to become fearless. And that kind of boldness that you don't get from alcohol, you don't get from drugs, you don't get naturally because you have stuff to say. It brings out strength from within you, and it begins to make you talk. I like that. I like that about a comedian. It's just that I don't like the part where they don't take you seriously. But hey, sometimes you don't take it seriously. I had to keep hammering to my wife, I love you before she can believe. They don't take us seriously.
Right.
That's why. Yeah.
So what don't you like about being a comedian?
That's what I said. They don't take you seriously. They don't take you seriously. And for me as a comedian, I'm not just a comedian, I'm a social commentator. And because I'm a social commentator, I like to talk about issues humorously. I've gone in lane that really cost me a lot of problems. I don't like that about a comedian. People sometimes just forget that you are a comedian. And then they begin to castigate you and judge you according to what you say. They have forgotten. These are just jokes. I have cracked joke about our light issue before. The Minister of Mines and Power there was around the hall. He got angry and took the microphone from my hand, embarrassed me publicly, and asked me to go to ask SSS to follow me to my hotel room in Hilton and locked me up until the event was over. I was sad, I was depressed. It was Donald Duke that came to rescue me. Yeah, that was a joke that the Minister of Mines and Power didn't have enough humor sense to grasp. And it took, other people were laughing, even members of the diplomatic corps, they were in the meeting, they were all happy. They were laughing because they knew that we had light issue. But the Minister of Mines and Power didn't find that funny at all. And though I was embarrassed. I don't like that aspect of being a comedian where they take you too seriously over issues. Yeah, there was a time when Buhari came on board, everybody was scared to talk about Buhari because they have started to see him like a god. You know, everybody was scared. Nobody wanted to talk about Buhari. Nobody wanted to crack a joke. If you crack a joke, Buhari, you'll be locked up. You'll be beaten up. I wasn't raised up like that. I'm a worry boy to the core. I came up with that with a joke, and I said it. Man, that thing brought the heaven down. Police started calling. Men started threatening. You will not believe that in 2 years I did not get to Abuja because of threats. The police commissioner called me and said, gee, man, you don't have to say that. They have forgotten that these are just jokes. I was just doing my job. I'm just like a gynecologist, yeah? I'm just like a gynecologist. No matter who comes to me, I do my job. Even if you are my pastor's wife and you have a gynae problem, I will ask you to lie down and take off your clothes. I'm doing my job. I'm being professional. So I don't find it funny when they begin to take us seriously, forgetting that look, these guys are just cracking jokes. That's one aspect of it. And then the other part, when you step out of being a comedian and you want to say real things in life, they don't take you seriously no more. They don't. Right? They don't. In fact, in my own family, my children love to watch me talk. Even when I say something serious, they like to laugh because you can't hide if you're a comedian. In little things you say, even if you are saying the serious thing, sometimes I have to scold my kid. Even in that, I'm laughing. Even I'm saying something serious, but I'm laughing. And they too will be laughing. So you see, that cannot be impactful. They know that, oh, maybe that is not serious. Yeah? So that aspect I don't like. Those are just the things. And sometimes people just look at comedians as foolish people, as stupid people. Some of them don't even know we have degrees that we kept somewhere. Some of them don't even know that we went to university, went through the 4 walls of university, studied 6 years, and then plus strike 8 years. And then we decided to put that aside and pick up a gift because Nigeria is not offering you anything right now. They don't take us like people who are serious people. They look at us like very funny people. Yeah, who just say things. No. Some of these comedians, they are master's degree holder. Look at Elipo, PhD holder. And yet, she's still behaving like a small child. You know, that's the beauty of being a comedian. All right? So, these are just some of the things I think I don't find very sweet about the comedian.
All right. Now, at what point should a comedian be taken seriously?
Well, if as a comedian, if you learn how to say the truth humorously, at some point, they will begin to take you seriously. Because if what you have said once, twice, thrice, and so on, actually came to pass, as the rest of you do your comedy, then they will start to take you seriously. They'll begin to look beyond you just cracking joke to somebody who is very serious about the issues of life and the society. You know, like if the Alibabas are cracking joke today, Alibaba will not just crack you a joke. He will tell you history. He will tell you things that will make you open your mouth. That way, you will know that this man is a serious-minded human being. When you come to business with Alibaba, he will train you. If you come to issues of education, Alibaba will train you. And then you know that this man is not just trying to make people laugh. You understand completely what he's doing. If I crack my joke, I will first of all I will school you. I will take you into things that you haven't even dreamt of. And then I will learn the joke. Then you understand it better. So by the time I'm done with you, you discover that you didn't just laugh, but you took something home from what I said. So when you start to come to that level, people start to take you seriously because they know that you don't just crack jokes, you take some time to do research. I think as a comedian, at that point, they begin to take you seriously.
Wow. How does a comedian go about monetizing and talent?
Multiplying his talent?
Monetizing.
Oh, monetizing. Yeah. Naturally, comedy is lucrative, yeah? But what really brings the money is in packaging. It's in
Is what?
packaging. How do you packaging is what brings the money.
All right.
You know,
Okay.
like I told you, what we do, talent is just 10%. You have relationship, you have packaging, and you have some other things. You know, your money comes as a result of your package. There a lot is involved in it for you to start making money from comedy. I'm not talking about YouTubers and all that. Practically, if you really want to make money from comedy, hey, your package is what it takes. If you're a comedian, at least you should package yourself in such a way that you can also handle a corporate event correctly. When you go to that level, you grow for just being a comedian into an MC. You know, then the MC money is sometimes higher than being a comedian. So, but if you can do the two perfectly, you make more money that way. I don't know if you understand. And of course, you can do your comedy event and you sell to YouTube, you do comedy events, you sell to all those people CDs and all those that. And then of course you go online that people you can also make money from. But practically, you as a comedian, if you've worked on yourself enough, you keep investing in yourself, you keep developing yourself, you keep getting involved every day, you discover that your value will go up and then your money will start coming. Do you understand? That's how it is. So for me, I've been able to do comedy across all walks of life, across all religion, across all race, tribe. I did that because I started investing in myself, I started developing myself. Now, I travel abroad to do comedy. When I go to abroad to do comedy, they pay me good. They pay me in forex, yeah. You don't expect me to do pidgin English for them because some of them don't understand that pidgin. So I have to work on my presentation. I have to work on my tool of comedy, which is English. So if the white man can hear you and understand you, then you're good. Yeah? I've gone around the world to do comedy. That was because I was able to invest in myself. I just did not stop at the level of, okay, doing the night of 1,000 laughs, you can't joke, everyone, Nigerian man will start to laugh because they understand you. No, I had to go to the India, I have to go to America, I have to go to the Europe, I have to go to Germany, I have to go to French nation. As I speak with you, I'm learning French because God is beginning to open up for me among the French nation. I want to be able to go there and tell them, bonsoir, je m'appelle Gordon, je suis comédien en Nigerian. I want to be able to do that. And even though I may not be a classical French person, but they can hear me, they can understand me. That way the money gets bigger, it gets piling up. You know, apart from the internet thing that people are making money from business. Yeah.
Interesting.